Another question we get quite often, do I need a trust? Well, that's not a question that I can answer by a simple yes, no. That's the lawyer answer. It depends. Well, I believe a trust-based planning is an excellent tool because of the predictability. It isn't for everyone. It takes more work to get the document right and to make your plan successful. They require more upkeep than a will-based plan so that it doesn't become unfunded by any later action. However, if your major concern is the living probate, then yeah, you probably need a trust. I'd like to use my own mother as an example of the answer to this. Her biggest concern was losing the ability to manage her financial life or her personal decisions, and then ending up in the living probate sitting in open court with anyone who wants sitting there listening to her medical problems and to her assets. She was far from having a taxable estate, so estate tax planning wasn't needed. Her concern about disability was a big issue for her, and we had alternatives to solve it. We could try powers of attorney, for example. Power of attorney, great tool. One major drawback, you're relying upon a third party to honor it. With financial elder abuse issues, banks are somewhat reluctant to deal with an agent under a power of attorney at times. Many require that they be executed within a certain time frame, or they contain specific language. And if your POA is found to be stale under their rules, you're stuck with not being able to take care of mom and having to resort to legal expense to then get the power of attorney honored. And many times you just don't have that kind of time. The other problem with the power of attorney is if mom isn't handling finances properly or is being swindled by someone, nothing about the power of attorney stops her from continuing to withdraw money from the account. The bank isn't going to stop her from accessing her own funds, and rightfully so. They may suspect financial elder abuse, but all they can do is report their concern. Mom can still send the nice man in Nigeria funds to help him with bringing that inheritance of his to America. So we could try the poor man's trust, add names to the account or on the deed so that someone could take care of her just in case. There are 8 kids in my family. I got 5 brothers, 2 sisters. Who should be named as co-owner with mom? And at death, remember that ownership transfers without probate, but to the joint owner, which wasn't what mom had in mind. Adding all 8 names, that's not a great plan either. Anyone could become disabled themselves or could die in the wrong order. And as to real estate, we now have 9 owners trying to agree what to do. And I think my brothers and sisters get along well, but it could set up some problems and hard feelings. The drawbacks to other planning techniques simply left us with concerns. So, did mom need a trust? Yes. With the trust, we didn't have to go to the court for permission to manage her financial affairs. Upon disability, the trustee stepped in. Mom couldn't send any funds to the nice man in Nigeria because only the trustee had control of the accounts. Trustee paid her bills, and when the time came, her named patient advocate with the trustee determined what did the trust say about her living arrangements, and then they could easily make the decision about where should she live, how should she be taken care of. While she was alive and well, she made the decision just how her disability would be determined. She defined it in her trust. She also left her babysitting instructions for where was she to live if she could no longer live in her own home. That was her first choice. With a trust-based plan, everything was set out to make sure that the probate court had no control over mom, no control over her assets, and no control over her decisions. Everything was handled privately by the people she selected to succeed her. At the time she selected, they needed to step in. Do you need a trust? That answer can only be determined after reviewing the options with you and what your concerns are. For disability planning, I believe the trust makes the most sense, and it gives us a level of predictability as to the results. something we can't achieve with the other techniques.